All right. Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be tackling something that I think a lot of you listeners out there might be facing pretty soon, and that is assessment center group exercises.
Yeah.
I mean, these can be pretty nerve-wracking,
Yeah,
especially if you're aiming for really competitive fields like FMCG or Big Four consulting.
Right.
And speaking of that, you've sent in this book called Group Exercise: Tough Decisions, a Director's Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like you're really looking to ace that upcoming assessment center.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So you've come to the right place. After this deep dive, you'll feel a lot more confident about handling those group scenarios.
I think so. And it's a really smart move to be prepping with this book
Oh, yeah?
because, it's not just like a how-to guide for passing assessments. It's like a masterclass in decision-making and leadership,
Oh, okay.
which are skills that you'll need throughout your entire career, not just in the assessment center.
I see. So it's about the bigger picture, not just the immediate test.
Okay.
What makes this book different from just a standard leadership textbook?
Well, it's a lot more practical, for one.
Okay.
It uses real-world case studies, and it breaks these complex situations down step by step.
Okay.
But one of the most fascinating things about it is that it even gives you insights into what the assessors are evaluating.
Really?
Yeah. So think of it as like getting a peek behind the curtain.
Oh, wow. That's helpful.
Yeah.
It feels less like you're going in blind then.
Right. It takes away that mystery a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So this book seems like it was tailor-made for someone in our listeners' shoes, heading into an assessment center.
Yeah.
But who else do you think might find this useful?
Well, you're right. It's perfect for candidates who are prepping for these exercises, but assessors and HR professionals would gain a lot from it too.
Oh, interesting.
Because, understanding both sides of that assessment process can be really valuable.
I see. So having that 360-degree view.
Exactly.
Okay, well, for our listeners specifically, how does this book help them tackle those group exercises?
I think it really demystifies the whole process.
Okay.
They're going to learn how to showcase their decision-making, their strategic thinking, their ethical reasoning, all the things that assessors are looking for.
Makes sense.
And it builds confidence in navigating those complex group dynamics and contributing effectively to discussions.
Yeah, so it sounds like it goes beyond just having the right answer.
Yes.
It's more about how you think and approach problems.
Absolutely. It's about demonstrating those key competencies under pressure.
Right.
Like leadership, teamwork, adaptability, and ethical judgment.
Okay.
This book really provides a framework for understanding what those competencies look like in action during a group exercise.
All right, so you've mentioned the case study, tough decisions, a director's challenge.
Right.
What can you tell us about it without giving too much away?
Well, imagine you're suddenly thrust into this high-stakes situation as a regional director.
Okay.
You're tasked with making tough budget cuts, and you have to collaborate with these other directors, each with their own priorities, and it can get pretty intense.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's designed to simulate real-world pressure.
Okay.
And really see how you perform.
I can see why that would be so valuable for preparation.
Absolutely.
Does the book just kind of throw you into this scenario, or does it offer any guidance along the way?
Oh, it definitely offers guidance.
Okay.
It doesn't just present the challenge.
Right.
It provides this really clear step-by-step breakdown for every stage of the exercise, from the pre-exercise preparation to in-exercise discussion to the final evaluation.
I see.
And you get these clear examples of what good and not so good performance looks like, which I think really helps you understand what the assessors are looking for.
Yeah, that makes sense. So instead of going in blind, you're getting like a roadmap and examples to guide you.
Exactly.
Okay, what about the book's structure itself? How is it organized?
It's very well structured, broken down into 4 clear sections. Case study overview, candidate preparation, assessment guidelines, and lessons learned.
All right, so each section is like a focused deep dive into a specific part of the assessment center process.
Exactly.
It sounds like this book is trying to demystify the whole experience.
Yeah, I think so.
So each section is like a focused deep dive into a specific part of the assessment center process.
Yeah.
It sounds like this book is really trying to demystify the whole experience.
Absolutely.
Okay, before we move on, I'm kind of curious about the author. What's their background?
Well, they have extensive experience in HR and talent assessment.
Okay.
So that really lends a lot of credibility to the advice given in the book.
I see. So they've seen firsthand what works and what doesn't in these situations.
Right. They've been in the trenches, so to speak.
Yeah, that's reassuring. What's the core message that the author is trying to convey?
Well, one key takeaway they emphasize is that this book is about more than just assessments.
Okay.
It's about developing skills that are essential for navigating real-world workplace challenges. It's not just about passing this test. It's about building like a foundation for a successful career.
I like that. It's like a double win.
Yeah.
You're prepping for the assessment center, but you're also gaining these valuable skills that will benefit you long term.
Exactly.
So for our listener, if they're convinced that this book is for them, where can they get a copy?
Well, if you're serious about acing your assessment center, I highly recommend checking out Group Exercise, Tough Decisions.
Okay.
You can find it online or at major bookstores.
Great. It's going on my reading list for sure.
I think it's a good one.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to get your overall thoughts. What's the one thing that you hope our listener takes away from our discussion today?
Well, I'd say the biggest takeaway is that preparation is key.
Yeah,
Group exercises can be intimidating,
for sure.
but with the right tools and strategies, you can absolutely nail them.
Right.
And I think this book really provides those tools, helping you understand the process, the expectations, and how to showcase your skills effectively.
So it's about taking control, not leaving things to chance.
Exactly.
And you're right, those skills are valuable beyond just the assessment center.
Absolutely.
They'll benefit you in any professional setting.
Yeah, in any career.
Now, thinking back to that tough decisions case study,
Okay.
even without revealing specifics,
Right.
what kind of mindset do you think our listeners should cultivate
Yeah.
when facing those kinds of high-pressure group scenarios?
Well, it's not just about finding a solution.
Okay.
It's about showcasing how you think,
Mm-hmm.
how you approach challenges,
Right.
and how you collaborate effectively with others.
I see. So it's about really demonstrating those core competencies that we talked about earlier,
Absolutely.
like strategic thinking, ethical judgment, and leadership.
Yes, it's about finding the best solution
Okay.
while working effectively as part of a team.
So it's about the whole package.
Yeah.
All right. So for our listener, keep that in mind
Mhm.
as you prep for your assessment center. Think about how you can showcase not just your knowledge, but your thought process,
Right.
your ability to collaborate, and your commitment to finding the most effective and ethical solutions.
Yeah, and remember this book, Group Exercise, Tough Decisions, can really be your guide every step of the way.
Absolutely. It provides the framework and the strategies you need to excel in those group scenarios.
I agree.
Wow, this deep dive has been incredibly insightful.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten a crash course in assessment center success just by, talking about this book.
Right. I think it's definitely a valuable resource for anyone heading into that process.
Yeah.
And as we've emphasized, the skills that you develop while prepping with this book will serve you well throughout your entire career.
Absolutely. It's about more than just the assessment center itself.
Exactly.
So to our listener, if you're gearing up for an assessment center,
Right.
especially those group exercises, which can be so tricky,
Right.
we highly recommend checking out Group Exercise, Tough Decisions, a Director's Challenge. It's packed with practical guidance and insights that can make a real difference.
It really is. It's like having a secret weapon in your arsenal.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Okay.
We hope you've enjoyed this exploration of assessment center group exercises
Yeah,
and that you feel better equipped to tackle them head on.
I think so.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.